Hi, every guys. Hey, Kristen, will you just go ahead and mute right now because the recording will pull up who's in speaker view. Same, Denise. And then when you guys are chatting, just unmute or whatever. But hi, you guys. Anyways, thank you so much for calling in. Jess and Jani and I are super, super, super excited to be leading, the calls for the next 4 weeks again together. We kind of got on the phone and just said, like, we loved working together. We thought the feedback from the team, that you loved working with us, that we have such good energy, but we really wanted to just keep you inspired, give you tips, keep it fun, and over the holidays and keep us in momentum. Everything we do in this business shows up 30, 60, 90 days later, and we wanted to be keeping you in momentum, keeping you inspired, keeping you in the trenches that come 2017. You're not all of a sudden like trying to play catch up with everybody else. But one of the things that was super awesome when we decided that we got together was Betsy said, let's not just have like millionaire speakers. Let's not have these guest speakers that sometimes feel like untouchable or unrelatable or even can be intimidating. And let's highlight some of our rising stars. Let's highlight some of our superstars. Let's let some up-and-coming leaders tell you the stories, because that's who's most relatable. Someone who just went manager, who just went executive, or has maybe even fallen out of executive and is trying to go back to it, or just the real life stuff that happens in this business. And so we've kind of divided and conquered the weeks, and we're picking again a couple people that we want to highlight and do some of the training for us. And then after 10, 15, maybe 20 minutes of training, it's just going to be a live panel that our 2 guest speakers of the week and then the 2 hosts are really going to handle. But Jani, Betsy, and I all just say that, sometimes we love it when, we feed off each other and the energy goes. So it's kind of going to be an open and free for all. But the idea is for us to just be available for you guys for an hour to pour love in you, share some of the tips that we have, and just make sure that you guys are all finishing the year as strong as you started. Does that sound okay? Thumbs up, maybe a little bit in the chat box, like I'm not talking to myself. Okay, cool. So this week, Jess and I are hosting. And I grabbed my girl, Kristin, who I'm going to introduce here in a little bit, and Jess grabbed Denise. We've got a couple topics for you, and then the 4 of us are going to be your panelists tonight to just answer questions. And there's literally like a free-for-all of questions of what you want to have. If it's product, if it's business, the 4 of us just want to be available and give you whatever information we can tonight. So with no further ado, Jess, I would love to bring you out so you can introduce Denise and get us kicking off on week 1.
Does everybody just agree that Denise really doesn't need much of an introduction? Because when you're Spirit of Isogenics finalist and you're Denise Wiggins, you don't need a huge introduction, because it's one of the reasons that I think it's so powerful to hear how Denise does what she does. I think a lot of people, and truly, and I mean that we only half-heartedly, that you may not know, you probably know who she is, but for those who don't, Denise Wiggins is a well-known, highly regarded entrepreneur. She's someone who is this incredible self-starter. I don't know that she has ever heard or believed the word no in relation to something she's wanted to get done. And one of the things that makes her so inspiring is she literally has the ability to find a way to make almost anything happen, whether it's connecting with people, whether it's starting a new relationship, enrolling someone, helping someone rank advance, helping someone get massive product results. And that's what's so beautiful about watching her do it, because it really looks effortless, but there is so much behind who she is and how she does what she does every day. One of the most prevailing things about Denise is her consistency. Her attitude is consistent every day. Today I wrote her a text, and in real life, if we're going to get real, my text, her and I had a breakfast with some great friends of ours that are like family to both of us, and they're dealing with some hard stuff. And I texted Denise this afternoon, I said, between the rain, trying to get ready for the holidays, and this morning, I'm just feeling a little bit low. And guys, if I could honestly, because unfortunately I wanted to share it with everybody, but it shares some personal details. But what I'll tell you is her response says everything about who she is, which is just, she was giving it up to God. She was literally just surrendering it all, because she knows we have no control. What's the point of worrying? And what she does and how she lives every day, whether it's privately to me, in front of the team, in front of Isogenics, there's consistency in who she is and how she does what she does. So I'm so excited that you'll be able to hear from her. Hi, Denise.
Hey, girl. How are you? She's just 5 houses down. Hi, Jess. Thank you very much. And thank everyone who's on tonight and who will hear this. Happy holidays. I am going to take a moment to recognize what Jess just did. She spoke from the heart. And if you want to know why she's a millionaire, it's because she is compassionate. She cares. She truly, truly cares. She comes from the heart, and she is very open. And I'm on tonight to share about connecting, and connecting is organic. Connecting is love. Connecting is caring. And you all do it. We were all born with the ability to smile, with the voice to say hello, with everything. We already have tools right here with us. And I will tell you, one of the best things we can do is to take the spotlight off of ourselves and to give it to others. Because there's a lot of people out there that don't know what they don't know. And by you showing up in their lives, there's a door that's been opened, and maybe, just maybe, you will find that you're the light that they were looking for. So let's talk about connecting, right? One of the things I would ask you before I kind of get into connecting itself is to turn on yourself and say, would you join with you? Do you feel you would want to join with you? Are you coming from a place of happiness, positivity, confidence, someone who has a plan, somebody who's very excited about what's happening with their health and wellness? If you're somebody that's projecting that, I guarantee you will positively have people come attracting to you. It may not be on that first or second time that you talk to them, but it will happen. And the game is, if you want to call it a game or not, is that how many people can you touch? How many people can you connect with? And it has to come from the heart, and it has to come organically. But you can't just say, okay, she said start connecting. You got to have a plan. And we get those tools. You can either use them from Isagenix or you can create your own. What it starts with, who do you know? So once you've created a list using the memory jogger, or you're creating the list of your own, and everybody goes unless they're already involved in Isagenix, you've got names. You've got people, no matter how old you are. I don't care if you're 18. I don't care if you're 86. You've got people in your life. They either are in your house, they're next door, they're at church, they're at the convenience store, at the doctor's office, they're at the class reunion that's coming up, it's at the wedding you're going to, the bridal shower. It's an endless stream of people. You've got the warm market, which you know are the people you know, and you have the cold market, which are people you don't know, but you'll soon get to know. You have to be able to take the risk of stepping up and stepping out. If you're truly embracing this business and wearing a CEO hat, because that's so exciting. I love the fact that Isagenix says you get to be the CEO of your own business. We're here for you. We're solid. We have a foundation. We have people to support you. But oh, by the way, all you need to do is put your shingle out and we'll take care of the rest. It's a gift. And you have that gift now because you embrace this whole system of solutions. So take it out there. How do you do that? I'll tell you, I love, love, love connecting. And I, like a lot of us on here, because I'm not the only one that does this, we really could convince the toad or the tree or anybody to join because we talk. I'm going to step back for a second and suggest this. Should you not be comfortable at the moment in connecting, do me a favor and consider a couple of things. One, talking out loud in your home about what you would say, talking to yourself in a mirror, finding a family member and talking to them, and practicing what you would say. But again, this is not something that's going to be where you're a sales pitch. This is just being you. And what does it start with? Hello, how are you today? I love that sweater you have on. Oh my gosh, you smell great. What are you wearing? Like, these are things I actually do, folks. I take this beautiful blender bottle Okay, I have a lot and I buy a lot for people. So I go to our local grocery store and I'll load a cart with 25 of them. I kid you not, I will. And I plot my time accordingly, and I'll hang out in organic aisles and I'll see people picking jerky or granola bars, whatever, and I'm curious. So I do it respectfully, and I'll say, oh my gosh, I was thinking about that jerky. Have you had that before? Well, I'll tell you what, I ran into a guy. We hit it off, we talked jerky, we exchanged our information, and it just naturally started that way. So you know how to work this because you have your own environments. I'm not in your shoes, and I don't know who you know. But what I do know is this. Every single person gets up every single morning and puts their pants on. They're no different than you. I don't care if they're a millionaire. I don't care if they're thinking that they're, God's gift to whatever. The point is, at the end of the day, we all have heart. So if you keep it very natural and you go out when you leave your home, maybe even before you leave your driveway, there's the postman or postwoman, give them a hello. You're starting a conversation in a relationship. You're not going into it thinking, I'm going to get you. I need you. I have no one. I need a consultant. You don't want to be framing it in that mindset, because it is about a mindset. You want to be in a positive manner saying, I'm going to go out today, and I'm either going to have already preset with warm market friends, some meetings, or I'm going to make good intention to literally go out and meet 3 new people. Now, I'll say this. Maybe you're not physically going to go out and do it, but you have 3 as your goal. And if 3 is your goal, maybe it is one that you meet out in the community, and maybe it's somebody you meet on Facebook or LinkedIn or a social media type forum, or maybe it's a phone call message that you leave for someone and say, hey, I was thinking about you. We haven't caught up in X number of years or whatever case might be, and just say, I would love to catch up with you. And you genuinely want to connect with them and catch up with them. You want to know what's happening in their life. You want to know, because if you don't learn about the person, you're not really going to be able to set them up successfully with the right system. So it's listening. So again, you're using your senses. You're smiling, you're talking, you're listening, you're looking, you're making eye contact. It shows people nonverbals speak volumes, and people can sense it right away if you're genuine and you're coming from the heart. I don't know if this is making sense. I can't quickly read over to the chat if there's anything being over there, because even though I'm a multitasker in a red, I'm not able to do that right now. But I'm hoping that some of this is resonating, because it can be a very exciting time for each of you when you learn the art of connecting. And you probably just don't realize you already have that ability. You maybe need to dust it off. Maybe you haven't applied yourself or stepped up in a way that would really bring people. But keep in mind, the goal is talk to lots of people. Okay, Lauren, Jess, Jani, Betsy, I could go on and on and on. Several of you on here do this. You talk to lots of people, because by throwing your net out and doing that, you start getting people aware that you're doing something that you love, that you're helping people, you're serving people, and people are transforming in many, many ways. And sooner or later, they see it and they hear it. And that will mean that you will eventually have people come back and say, when you were talking to me, you briefly mentioned that health and wellness thing. Well, I've been watching you on Facebook, and you know what? I think I'm ready. Because that's the other thing. You can't force something on somebody if they're not ready. Many people stalked me. I didn't know they were stalking me, but they stalked me for like 8 to 10 months. They said nothing and they liked nothing. And then they quietly messaged me and said, I thought you were going to fail. I didn't think it was going to work. I thought I couldn't even pronounce the name, yada, yada, yada. And boom, they're like, you know what? I kept hearing you say it's a 30-day money-back guarantee. A lot of people use that. A lot of people said, I heard you said it does this, this, and this. So people are watching and listening. You guys are awesome. Believe in yourself. Know that you can do it. Get your help from your leaders because you don't want to do this alone. Get an accountability partner. Whatever it is that you feel will really take this to the next level for you, we'll make it happen. It will make a difference. You guys, we have a gift. Let's have a voice to it. Let's show them and everyone else out there, because remember what our mission is, right? Our mission is to impact world health and free people from physical and financial freedom. We got that. We're all on here tonight because we got that. It's happening for us. Yeah, we're all at different levels and different speeds. That's okay. Give yourself permission to know this is your life. You run it the way you want to run it, and you hit your goals the way you want to. Depending on what speed you want to go, jump on board with your leaders because they're not stopping. They're not stopping at all. Okay? They will take you way past the moon and then some. Okay? This rocket ship is awesome. I'm on there with Branson. Like I'm there. I'm on it. I'm on it. I love it. I will be a millionaire. I have no problem. Six-figure earner. I'll be a millionaire. I'm loving it, guys. I want it for you. And if you want it, then lock arms. I hope this helped.
Denise, you're so awesome.
You're fabulous.
I love it. I love it. I hope you can see the chat or get caught up on it. But so many great golden nuggets there. And I mean, honestly, you are the best at just making it fun and not making it weird. And really, like what Jessica Rigner always says, excite and confuse. You know, just be so in love with what you're doing that people don't know what it is. They just want it. So I am super, super excited because I get to bring Kristin out to the call. And some of you know Kristin, some of you don't. Ironically, she is a dietitian and trainer at a gym I used to teach group fitness classes at. So we have a ton of mutual friends, which, you know, through Facebook and a lot of other ways connected us to now do Isogenics. But she is one of my personally enrolled executives. She's a 2-star Golden Circle. She's created her own executive, and she just has so much heart, so much passion. But I wanted to bring her out, you guys, because she's hashtagged and branded herself this "why would you not" type thing, because she's so in love with the industry, so in love with residual income, totally gets what this does for moms, for families. And I wanted her to just kind of share her story with you and how she explains the vision and makes this whole industry not weird. So are you there, Kristin?
I'm here. Can you guys hear me okay?
We can, mamas.
Okay, awesome. So first of all, after listening to Denise, pretty much she summed it up. I mean, why would you not? Like, you know, like Lauren said, I really have come to the conclusion of why would you not? Why would you not do some of the things Denise just mentioned? If you can come up with a reason, a really legit, good enough reason to not, you know, write it down and work yourself through it. Because for me, you know, it really hit home, I would say, within about 2 or so months for me. You know, the nutrition was easy with Isogenics from the very beginning. I researched it so much and fell in love with the nutrition right away. That was easy. I didn't even know what it tasted like. And I had enrolled like 5 people, and I hadn't even really used any of it because I didn't care. I loved the nutrition. I loved how clean it was. I'm a dietitian and a trainer, so for me, you know, that was a really big deal. And you know, then I started talking to Lauren more and more and more, and I thought, why would I not? Why would I not trust her? I have no reason to not completely follow her. Look how successful she is. You know, not just financially, but look at how many people she's helping. She believes in this. She clearly knows what she's doing. So if she tells me to make a list of 100 people, okay, well, why would I not? You know, maybe it's a little scary, but that wasn't good enough for me. I mean, what in life is it? You know, what in life isn't a little bit of a risk, or, you know, a little bit where your heart kind of skips a little beat once in a while? Sometimes those are the best things in life for us. And so when she first told me, you know, to sit down and write that list, come up with my 10 scary, I think is what it was when I first came up with those. And I thought, okay, well, now what do I do, you know, with the 10 scary people? And she walked me through it and totally supported me and helped me through it. And at that point, you know, again, I was about 2 months or so into it, and I thought, man, like, why would I not? Why would I not do all these things that sounded so crazy that she's telling me to do, but they're not crazy? It's amazing how many people's lives you can affect. You know, physically, financially, it's just amazing. As far as the network marketing industry goes, I think it's absolutely brilliant. You know, I'll argue with anybody who wants to bash it and say, oh, I don't want to get into network marketing. I ask them why, and they don't really know. Most people, to be honest with you, I really feel like maybe even the vibes that I put off really kind of show that I really believe in it. So I really don't get a lot of kickback from it, but I've gotten it, you know, once or twice over the last couple of years. And the thing about it is that people can't really answer. They don't really know why. And I say, man, I hope Lauren deserves everything she gets from me. Are you kidding me? Like, why would she not? She spends her time with me. She pours her heart into it. She cares so much. So whatever it is that she's helping me with, I think it's absolutely brilliant that she's getting you know, we're helping her team grow. She's getting paid for it as well. Why would she not? I mean, that is the most brilliant workup that I can come up as far as a business goes. And I'm not a business savvy person, but it just seems brilliant. Whenever someone has to say something to me about, oh, the pyramid, I'm like, yeah, it's awesome. Because I tell you what, my leader deserves every bit of what I'm doing, because I wouldn't be doing it if it wasn't for her. So I could care less. I think it's amazing. Residual income has saved my life. Literally has saved my life. You know, to be a little bit vulnerable, a couple of years ago, I had a rough time. I have 2 little kids, and my son has asthma, and my daughter has a couple, you know, little issues. We're all good, and God is good, so don't get me wrong, but I had a really challenging time just buying gas. Honestly, this particular year was just awful. I couldn't buy a full tank of gas. I would have to really budget, like, okay, well, if I buy $5 now and $10 now, and then my kids would need milk. I'm like, I woke up and I thought to myself, who am I? How, like, what is this? How is this happening? I have 2 college degrees. I have 2 bachelor's degrees. And you know what? Like, why is this happening? Well, it has nothing to do with my college degrees. It was the path that my life was taking me on, and I needed to do something different. I needed to save my family. I needed to save myself, and this has absolutely done it. To be able to go through and watch all the lives that are being changed, again, you know, physically, financially, emotionally, everyone's spirit is being changed. You know, it has just, it's changed my life in so many ways. I don't stress about medical bills like I used to. I'm able to buy groceries pretty much that I want, all while still being a mom. To me, that is just amazing. I like to run, so I can go run when I need to, for the most part. You know, be a mom, be there for my kids. Perfect example, real world example. The last 2 days, yesterday and today, both of my kids are sick. My son has, I would consider, pretty severe asthma, and so yesterday and today he has been home from sick, and so is my daughter. My daughter has a cold, and so I've kept both of them home. Well, Monday and Tuesday are days for me to work at the health club that Lauren was talking about, and I tell you what, it was at least 10 pounds off my shoulders, knowing it's okay, Kristin, it's okay. You have Isagenix. Isagenix will save you, that you have to take off work, and I had to cancel clients. And in the past, I would have had no money for 2 weeks. It would have been just awful. And it completely has saved me. So I'm so grateful. So the thing that I want to leave everybody with is to think about that. Like, why would you not? If you can come up with a legit reason, you know, if you're going to list pros and cons, however you want to do it, ask yourself, why would you not? And if you can come up with a real reason, please send it to me and let me know what it is, because I don't know what that would be. So hopefully everybody has been a little bit inspired between, you know, Denise, myself, Lauren, and Jessica are amazing. And so, so yeah, I'm going to leave you with, why would you not?
You're so cute. I love it. I love it. I love it. You guys, I mean, honestly, when you start to listen to the stories, like David Wood always talks about in this industry, the more successful you'll be is like the more stories you can collect, right? Because if you're a master story collector, then you can share other people's stories. And I remember like when I first was building, and you guys, I wasn't even a 1-star, I wasn't even an executive. And I, you know, showed up like I was going to be an Isogenics millionaire because I used Emily Baver's story. I used Jani's story, you know, I used Cindy's story. And I knew it was ordinary people doing extraordinary things. And if it could happen to them, it could happen to me, right? And so when you're talking to people, I use a bunch of other stories. Like, I don't know what it feels like to lose 100 pounds, but I know people in Isogenics that do, that can share their story. You know, I do know what it's like to be like Kristin, that have multiple degrees and barely making ends meet and going, what's wrong with me? Like, you know, I think I'm really smart and I'm sucking, right? Like, I know what that story feels like. And there's a lot of people that we relate to, you know, we know what it's like to find people in the service industry that are tired of exchanging time for money, you know. But Jessica has a totally different story. You know, Jessica was so overworked and unfulfilled, and she may have never struggled financially, right? But she didn't have the joy. She didn't feel like she was leaving a legacy. She didn't feel like she was impacting lives. She was missing out moments with her kiddos, right? And so I find people that are really successful in corporate America, and I say, I don't care that you make $500,000 a year, you're missing out, you know? And so the more that you can gather people's stories and share them, find people that are looking for us. I did an opportunity meeting last week or 2 weeks ago with Todd Siddons. Some of you guys may know him. He's a 4-star. CG, his older sister's a millionaire. You know, she's a star ambassador. And he started the opportunity. He goes, I had a dad that, you know, always used to tell me that as you grow up, you want to, you know, find something that you love and find something that will make you a lot of money. And he goes, and I would laugh because going to the beach and playing football was never going to make me a lot of money. And he talked about how he had a good life, right? He goes, but the main thing keeping you from a great life is a good life. You know, and I use his story all the time, that he wasn't necessarily unfulfilled. He wasn't necessarily broke. He wasn't necessarily experiencing hardship, but he was complacent. He had settled for mediocre, and he had bigger dreams. He had a bigger purpose, right? And Isogenics opened his eyes to that. And so the more stories that you can collect and the more people you can relate to, the more people you can go out and serve. And that's just why I love, love, love every time Kristin says that, of like, why would you not? And I see her hashtag it and I smile, because it's like, you do just want to shake people and be like, why would you not do this? Why would you not have a shake? Why would you not take Ionics? You know, like, it's so simple. So that being said, you guys, I know you're going to be shy to start, but then once, you know, we get the ball rolling, we're probably going to have a hard time shutting you up by 8 o'clock, but we want to just be here for you guys. I mean, Kristin's a trainer and a dietitian, you know, I'm a nutritionist. Denise and Jess have totally different backgrounds, but I mean, this is your platform to ask us questions. Like, how do we say things? How do we get something offline? What are we sending in a Facebook message? How do we rank against people? How are we getting people to events? Like, what, you know, what do we do for objections? Anything. And Denise or Kristin or Jess and I will just kind of hop out, whoever kind of feels like they want to take the question. And then, you know, if Denise says something about, I'm like, oh, wait, hold on, I want to add to that, I'll chime in. But it's going to be an open floor. So you guys are welcome to use the chat box if you want to chat a question, or you can just unmute and really just say, hey, I have a question.
Okay, Lauren, I've got a question for you.
Okay, hey.
How are you? So one of my builders today was texting me, and she's real heavy on one side of her leg, you know, one of her team legs, and then the other leg is not so, you know, not quite as developed yet. And so she was just saying, gosh, I want to get this thing going. I want to kick it into gear. So what would you tell someone if they've got, you know, they put a ton of really rock star people on the inside team, and then the regular team leg is kind of lagging behind?
Jess, are you still on the line? I'm going to answer this, but I'm curious if we're going to be in sync with this. So Jani, I think a lot of this comes from what you taught me and then just, how I show up in the world, right? But I say a few things. Like the first thing is that people have to take care of themselves. Like I know that people are motivated by compensation and I want people to get paid, and so people that are massive, massive recruiters, I coach to build their business differently because the way I was taught and the way I understand this compensation plan is that it's not about chasing the cycle, and understanding to keep your benchmark low and focusing on the long-term income, and to be able to grab money in the, leadership pools and stuff. But that's for people that are going fast. And that's for people that are massive, massive recruiters, right? So for a lot of people that don't have the ability to do that, I'm like, go one left, one right, one left, one right, and trying to build their business or to try and, grab double pibs or earn income in other ways. Sometimes when people have a ton of team volume and like nobody on the other side, I'll say, okay, put 2 to 3 people on your focus leg and then go back to the team leg, like 2 to 3, people on the focus leg and back to the team leg, because I want them to get paid and I want to be strategic with it. But at the end of the day, I will say a few things, and no matter where you are, if you're on a power leg, if you're on an inside leg, if you're a massive recruiter, if you just got started, is first of all, you have to put ante in the pot that you're taking from. You don't have a ton of people that are on a lot of volume. You know what I mean? I'm like, yeah, guess how all that people got there. And you cycle all the time because you can pull 600 from everybody else, but that you have to be able to make the, deposits to the same bank account that you're going to withdraw from. Like that just makes you a good human being and a good karma. But I also think that I like to put hot molecules with hot molecules. And it's like, it's a real selfish move to put someone in a place that's going to benefit you, but be so hard for them, and I think that like people need to work together, you know what I mean? And I like to stick people together that can run together and really support one another. And the last thing I would just say, Jani and Jasmine, I really hope you kind of dive in and, give your thoughts on this too. But I like to put like-minded people together. I think people get so caught up in a short-term decision, and they get so caught up on, if they're going to cycle or if they're going to hit a certain rank advancement, and people are stuck together. I mean, this is a legacy big business. And I want people to form friendships. I try to put personalities alike that they're going to want to do launch parties together. They're going to want to travel together. They're going to want to be roommates in events. And, whenever I'm placing people, and if anybody looks at my business, you guys, I'm on an inside leg. Nobody, not one person has been in my downline from up above me. I mean, I've built 2 solid teams. My legs flip-flop. To this day, 3 years later, I do not have a side where the 600 comes from. Like, they're super even because I've built 2 solid teams and I've thought about it for them. I've put people on what's going to benefit them because I think your retention and longevity has been way more important, but I see a lot of people that make some really selfish decisions and it doesn't pan out. And some of the most successful I know in Isogenics have 2 solid teams and they built from an inside leg. I mean, Jess Rigner is one of them. Susan Slide's one of them. Peter Kelly's one of them. And it goes on. It's funny. It's like, there was a skill set that we had to learn. And I just really, really encourage people to look at the whole picture and not a short-term decision.
I think it's totally ironic that Jani has this question for the 2 of us, since we have never known what that's like to have banked volume. But I will tell you, if someone called me and said that, and you have you have the absolute good fortune of having some volume that you have banked. Number one, I want to tell you what your team is worth, right? And everybody knows how to do that. So if you have somebody on your team or you have banked volume, you know how to tell them what it's worth, right? For anybody who doesn't, you would divide the banked volume number by 600. Since the cycle is 600 and 300, you divide that number by 600 and you'd multiply that by $54. And that tells them what their business is worth every single week, right? Because that's what they've accumulated. That volume will keep backfilling. And conceivably, you're on a team leg like that, it's a runaway. It will likely grow. So what I would tell someone that has that situation that really gets it and says, what am I doing? I'm sitting on.
No, Jess. They don't have, there's no banked volume.
Oh, I thought the question was if they were sitting on banked volume.
No, they're just, it's just one, like the inside team is just kind of a runaway team. And then the team leg has not caught up.
Okay.
I misunderstood that question too.
The inside team is a runaway team and the team leg is stagnant. So awesome.
Not stagnant, just slower.
Okay, so slower on the team leg. So what I would say is that's an awesome position for every single person upstream. That's amazing. And what we're going to do is we're going to literally attract people. That's the first thing we're going to do is we're going to literally see the kind of people we want in our business flooding in. We're going to remake our list. I don't care if you're Lauren Sims and you've enrolled so many people, you're going to remake your list. And you're going to literally go out with intention. You're going to go do what Denise does. Denise, when she's trying to enroll new people, goes out with intention to meet new people. I will tell you, I have never gotten my hair done at different places, gone to different gyms, taken my foster son to different playgrounds, driven 45 minutes to an area where I think, wow, you know what? I've never talked to anyone in Isogenics in this particular area. It's 45 minutes away, but there's this beautiful playground that I have seen when I'm down visiting a shop I like to go to. I'm going to take him to a playground. And guess what? You meet people at playgrounds. You meet people in restaurants when you're sitting there having a coffee at Starbucks. It's easy to chat with people like Denise was saying, just say hello. So it's going out and expanding your network. It also is friending people on Facebook that are new. And here's what I've started doing is I am interested in certain things. There are certain things that are happening in my life so people know we're foster parents. So I've joined a bunch of foster groups and I post in those groups. And people who comment on my post, I look at their profile and I say, gosh, you know what? I have a lot in common with this woman. For my own personal reasons, I want to be connected to other foster parents. And maybe you want to be connected to other people that have similar interests to you. I've enrolled a lot of people I met, and I used to be really excited about Spartan races. Spartan races are like adventure races or mud runs. I used to really like to do Spartan races. And I would get in these Spartan race groups and people that would say things that I would think, that person and I have something in common. I really am interested in them. And I'd look at their profile and I'd be like, wow, I'm totally going to grab this really cool picture that they had posted about a quote and I should friend them. We would totally be friends. And then I would send them a message. I would be expanding my network to people that are like you. And I would probably, if I was in that stage of the business, I would probably be using Facebook for that. I think a lot of us have tried to get really cute about different social media platforms that aren't proven or that we don't totally understand. And I think it's a distraction for people. Facebook is tried and true. And if you're going for it, I don't know if you agree, Lauren, but it's where I would be going.
Yeah, and I know there's a lot of other questions here that we should probably get to, and I'm not totally sure I'm still understanding it. But the other thing, Jani, I mean, I understand that, people have all these people there together, and kind of you have to get back where you're taking from or whatever. But at the same point, I feel like you can't control what's going to happen. You know what I mean? And I've seen people try to stay to the team leg. But if they've gone through that bank volume and all of a sudden their focus leg becomes their team leg, well, you're the CEO of your business and you have to look at it like you're the top of the tree and not worry about what's above you and just run your business at the best way that's going to support you and everybody down below.
Yeah, I think you're right. And I think just, everybody's got to band together and start recruiting. So you literally go through that team leg and you see who's working, who wants this, and then you start pouring into those people. And then you just all together decide you've got to drive it. It's time to drive.
Oh my gosh, the best rank advancements is when everyone does it together. And I love that formula, that Jess has taught us, that when you're trying to figure out how much you want to grow your business, whether it's by cycles or whatever, and you do the attrition, that whole thing, and how many members you're bringing in, and then you divide that by your builders. Who are the people that are enrolling 2 people? I just recently did it, figure out how to go to 6-star. And I was like, all right, these are the people. And I'm like, all right, how many people is Jen going to bring in? Kisa going to be in, Kristin going to be in. And then they say, your team is responsible of 100 people. And Kisa goes and tells her 20 people who's going to enroll 5 or 10 people in the next month. And when you can really all run together, because those rank advancements happen when everybody's enrolling, because it's all consistent at that same time. So yeah, that's the best part.
Yeah, I agree. It's good.
Okay, so there's some questions being typed in the chat, Jess. I don't know if you saw it, but one of them was like, how are we getting people to NYKO? Because they think that we're running out of time. So maybe you should answer that, Jess, because you obviously planned a lot of time to go to NYKO.
Yeah, 3 years ago, I went to NYKO, and I decided 2 days before it was going to happen. And you know what I would tell you, always the answer is when you first ask people to go to an event, when someone asks you to go to an event for the first time, your instinct was to say no. I can't make that happen. I've got excuses. It costs money. I'm not making enough. I don't have the time. I've got work. I've got kids. I've got lots of excuses. Every person in the world is going to default to no when you ask them such a crazy question. It's, do you want to come to San Antonio with me to an Isogenics cheerleading session? Everyone's going to say no to that. That's the instinct. What I found is that when you consistently ask people, you help them find a way to yes, it will change their life, because only you know what they're going to experience when they get there. They can't even envision it. But I persistently, anyone that I think needs to be there, I am almost relentless in asking them.
Jessica says that we harassed her. You know, Jani and I harassed her to go, and heck yeah, we did. Jani actually bribed me to get her to there. She said, you know, like, you do whatever it takes, because if you see someone with the it factor, I mean, you just know how important that is and what events are doing. But you guys, I'm really practical in my mind. Even though I don't have to do this anymore, it's still so ingrained to exchange time for money. So the main reason people are not going is because of money right after the holidays, right? So I say, okay, here's what we do. The event is going to cost $1,000. We've got 4 weeks to get there. That means you've got to earn $250 per week to get the event paid for. Do you understand all the ways that you can make money in Isogenics? You know, I'm like, if you're going by double pibs, 2 pace setter packs are $200. You're probably going to cycle. Done. Like that. You know, I said, if you could do 2 president's packs, that's $320. Now it's less you have to make next week. Go for the 5 cycle bonus 2 weeks in a row. It's totally done. I mean, being able to break that down and then show your people really how to do it. You can't just tell them, but say, okay, if we're going to enroll 2 people this week, we've got to talk to 20 people. Do you have a list? What are you sending out on Facebook? Do you know how to set up a 3-way call? Have you done a virtual launch party? I mean, literally walking them through every single step, because it's a show me business, and what they have to be doing in order to get those 2 enrollments. You know, I mean, Jani made it a non-negotiable. If she was going to mentor Jess and I, we had to go. You know, we didn't know what we were getting ourselves into, but again, success leaves clues. And if someone who has built many millionaires in the company is saying, you have to go, you have to go. Just like Kristin said, Lauren said, I had to make a list. But it comes down to how bad the people want it. But if you're going to cast the vision for someone and say, this is going to change the trajectory of your life. Do you want to make hobby money, or do you want to get trained and be the CEO of your business? Then just lock arms with them and literally show them every step of the way. But I just break it down. And I think that our whole business is 3-way calls, you guys. I mean, we do 3-way calls to enroll. We do 3-way calls to build belief to rank advance. We do 3-way calls if someone's having an unpleasant, you know, product experience. But I do 3-way calls and 3-way messages all the time for events. I mean, I was just at ICU Phoenix, and Melanie, I think she's on this call tonight. She was like, hey, let me snag you for a second. We're doing video messages to her team going, I can't believe you're not in Phoenix with us. You have to get to Texas. Buy your ticket from San Antonio right now. Like, I'm saving your seat. I want you to be here. And can you imagine what those people felt like on the other side? I mean, there's instant FOMO, and you cared about them to send them the video in the middle of the thing. Like, they want to be a part of it. So, you know, just find other people that really understand how important events are and have them share their story as well.
And leaders, don't forget, you're in the catbird seat to be the guide and the driver to letting them know the calendar snapshot for 2017. It's already out there. So to help them know that for the 12 months ahead, there are things plotted for the core, for national, for regional, and for local. And local is always popping up too. So if they say, you know, if it's just not going to work for them for whatever it is, I'd say that's okay, because guess what? In February, XYZ is taking place. Let's make sure, commit now. Commit with me. Be accountable to it and commit now. So, you know, it is very, very much possible to get to NYKO. We have such a lead right now. Seriously, it's not just a month away. It's not. You have the ability to do it. And if you need to tap other leaders to help you and showing them that vision, then do that. But don't forget the other events that are on tap.
Totally, absolutely. And you guys, the other is, I mean, based on where you are in your business, invest in your team. And I think when I had my private practice and what I had to cost to do health fairs and to run ads in health magazines and all of these things, to buy someone an event ticket, you guys, I mean, that is the best return of investment you're going to get in your business. I mean, Eric Worre says on average, every person you get to an event is going to bring you in an extra $1,000 in the year. So if you spend $500 in event tickets, but that's going to bring you, you know, an extra $3,000 to $5,000. I mean, that's the best return of investment. And just as a small business owner, just always think about how you're investing in your team, how you're investing in your marketing. I mean, it's a tax deduction, and some of you might not be in the position to do that, but some of you are. Some of you are, and some of you should be doing that. I mean, Jessica and I were gifting away event tickets at the very, very beginning. At the very beginning, we were putting our profit right back into the business because we knew what that was going to do. Okay, so someone asked on here, they're asking about like our initial connections, like basically after we have this list, what are we saying to people on Facebook or on the phone? So Denise, why don't you start with that one? I mean, this is your whole thing anyways, and then we'll piggyback on you.
Yeah, definitely. So here's your thing. You have your list and you kind of want to pocket them, or this is how I've approached it. I've got my list and it's usually 4 or 5 pages long because the list never ends. You're always adding to it. So take a look at maybe zeroing in on 12, because you can't attack everybody at once. And your initial conversation can be, it depends on your outreach. So it can be either the phone call, a text message, let's have coffee, whatever. But now you're with the person, either via phone or you're face to face with them. Again, I'll go back to the fact that you want to get to know them. How are they doing? What's happening in their life? If you have mutual friends, that you maybe haven't seen and they know, talk about that. You're talking about their world. You're giving them the opportunity so that they don't feel like you're heading into using the time only to sell your information that you desperately want them to know about. Because if you ask them about their family, about their job, about what hobbies they're involved in and so forth, the courtesy is typically they're going to ask you, hey, what are you up to? I know you're doing something with health and wellness. And then it becomes natural into the conversation. So you're not forcing it, you're allowing the door to be opened for you because you asked that person to talk about their life. So this is both warm and cold. So warm, you're catching up because you don't want to catch up with them. You're sincere. You like this family member or this friend. If it's a cold market, you're like, here, I'll give you a prime example. This morning, I spend usually about 10 minutes quickly going through Facebook groups that I'm a part of. I found a lady, it said her name was Judy, and it said San Antonio, Texas. And Judy just happened to put her heart on the page about how she's overweight, nothing works, she wishes she could find something, yada, yada, yada. I actually took about a minute to decide, do I want to reach out to Judy? I am going to San Antonio. So I kind of strategized in my mind, and I said, oh my gosh, why am I not reaching out to Judy? Judy needs me. Judy doesn't know me yet, but Judy's going to find out. I sent Judy a message, and here's what I said. I said, hi, Judy, you don't know me, and I hope you don't find this uncomfortable, but I wanted to reach out and share with you based on what I just saw you post on the mutual post that we're on. And if you would be interested, I have something that you might want to know, might want to find out some more information about. Well, literally, she was on. And she's like, yes, I'm okay not knowing you. Please share more. I'm open to learning more because I can't find anything that works. So then we started a dialogue. So now we're going to talk actually on the phone tomorrow. I took a risk. I did not know Judy. I went out and I reached for her. She could have never opened that message. She could have opened the message and never commented. A lot of things could have happened. But what do I got to lose? Hey, it's Judy. If Judy wants help, maybe I'm there for her. But here's what I also did. I was very, very careful not to jump in per se about the solutions that we have. What I did say to her is, hey, Judy, I'm coming down to San Antonio. How cool would it be if we kind of met up? You don't know me, I don't know you, but here's the thing. Why are you coming down? And that's how that started. So remember, you just got to think about who you're talking to, what's happening in their life that you can ask them about, so that you're allowing the conversation to be natural and very organic. And then it'll naturally flow. I hope that helps.
You okay if I chime in here? That's so awesome. Jess, did you have anything you wanted to say right now? Or Kristin?
No, I think that's good. Go ahead.
Okay. I just want to make sure I'm not hogging the mic here. So if you got something to say, shut me up. But Denise, that's awesome. And I'm trying to type and text Betsy who's on the phone and listen at the same time. So I am multitasking over here. But there's a couple of things. So I agree that you have to be really, really organic. And, Rod Harrison trains about the IE type of leadership, that you're internally motivated, but you're externally focused. The fact that I'm going to do my 3x3 every single day, or I'm going to have launch parties, or I'm going to get up earlier, I'm going to stay up later. That's because I'm internally motivated, because I have dreams and I have goals and aspirations. But being externally focused is knowing that when I'm on the phone with them, they know that I care about them and I'm in it for their success. I'm in it, to help them, that it's not about me. And you guys have heard me say, I knew Jani was invested in me, that Jani was invested in Jessica without the return of how it was going to impact her. She genuinely wanted our lives to be different, right? And that's part of when you can show up that way, people are going to respond to you. If they know you're trying to rank advance, they know if you're treating them like a number or an enrollment, they're going to run from you, you know. But when you're really listening, you're a master question asker, you're getting to their point of pain, you're peeling back those layers of the onion to really kind of understand where they're at, and then you're offering a solution. People trust you, right? And that's a mindset. That's about not rushing. That's not genuinely connecting, asking a lot of really good questions. But part of that, you know, like when you're reaching out, like Denise said, if you have that list and it's people you haven't talked to in a while, you know, don't send some generic message that, you know, we all receive that feels like a sales thing of like, hey, not sure if you've seen what I've been on Facebook, but blah, 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 blah. But actually talk about their kids, you know, ask them about their job, I mean, somehow build that relationship. But Eric Worre has a script that I think is so brilliant. And when I was enrolling fast and I had really limited time, you guys, I use this. But it's like you literally compliment them and state the purpose of your call, right? And then you're trying to get to the appointment or setting a tool. So I remember sitting on my house one day for a Saturday afternoon and literally going through my entire phone. And it was the one time that I was calling everybody, where most of us go to our phone and we call one of every 20 names. Because the other 19, we've decided who's too rich, who's not rich enough, who's too poor, who's too fat, who's too skinny, who's going to judge me, and we tell ourselves 19 out of the 20 why they're not going to do this. So we call 1% and say, I've gone through my entire list, right? It was the first time I was like, I'm calling everybody. I'm not going to decide if it's for them. I'm calling everybody, right? And there were some tough calls. Don't get me wrong, going, oh my gosh, what am I going to say to this person, right? But I would get on the phone and ask questions like, how are you? What have you been doing? What's new? And inevitably, one of two things is going to happen. There's going to be a U-turn where they say, hey, I can't believe you just called me because I've actually been thinking about you. I can't believe you just called me because I saw what you were doing and I've wanted to reach out. And that's just the way the law of attraction works, the way the divine universe works, right? But the other is after you connect, when you can compliment someone. Like people always say to me like, oh my gosh, I really want Jani in my business, you know, but I don't know what to say to her. And I'm like, well, why do you want Jani in your business? And they're like, oh my gosh, because she's so fun and she's so classy and she loves on people and she's tenacious and, you know, she takes action. And I'm like, then that's what you should tell her. You know, I'm like, you need to call her and say, I opened up my own business and I want you in it because da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And so I would call people, and after a little bit of small talk, I would say, hey, I'm in a hurry right now. I mean, that's how he prefaces it, that you're not rude, that you're rushing. But I'm like, hey, I'm in a hurry. I would love to chat right now, but I don't have a ton of time. And I say, but I thought about you because, and you tell them, and the reason I'm calling is I wanted to share something with you, right? And you might get a lot of no's in the process, but you're going to get a lot of yeses. You will be shocked how many people are open to a video, how many people want to know more, how many people are grateful that you reached out to them. And that's when you get out of your comfort zone and the magic just happens when you're willing to do the scary things, when you're willing to get past the judgment, when you're willing to put, what is someone going to think of me aside? And like I had it written across, what if Jani Ehlo didn't call you? Because the number one thing that motivated me whenever I wasn't going to call someone would be like, you know, I don't know their story. You know what I mean? Like, what if she didn't call me? Like, I don't know. It's not up for me to decide who doesn't want this. And I would worry more about not calling someone than I would what they thought. And that's just a mindset situation. So I would just say use his script. You know, you just state that you're in a hurry, you compliment them, and then you say the reason I am calling, the purpose of my call. It's much more impactful than in Facebook message. I mean, you can try and Facebook message and text message all the time. No one can hear your voice. No one can see your enthusiasm. The nonverbal communication is not there. You know, if you're connecting on Facebook, I would be like, oh my gosh, you keep popping up on my newsfeed. I can't wait to chat with you. Hey, when do you have a few minutes? I really want to connect with you. Like, do your best to get it offline. People will send me scripts and they're like, what do I do next? I'm like, oh my gosh, you've been talking to this person for 3 weeks on Facebook message. Like, it's not going anywhere, you know? And the other thing I just wanted to tap on with what Denise was saying about when you're watching people and you're kind of seeing what they're doing, when people are putting their pain out there, you know, and they're telling you what's happening, that's when you're all in, that you can share with them what's happening. Like I've literally 100%, I hope I can find this. I'll put it in the chat. She wrote on her Facebook today, I really need to work for myself. I'm so over my boss, right? I was like, well, that's interesting. Do you want to know how long it took me to message that girl? 30 seconds. We're going to coffee on Saturday. I said, hey, I remember the days of hating my boss too. And she goes, you don't have a boss? And I said, no, I work for myself. And I'm sure I can give you the opportunity you're looking for. I just saw your Facebook post. She goes, can you tell me more? I said, yes, when can you talk, right? We're going to coffee on Saturday. I'm sure I'm going to enroll this girl. But she wrote on there, that's exactly what she wrote. I really need to work for myself. I hate my boss, right? I'm all in at that point. So you have to be open and like be looking for all the clues that are in front of you. There's opportunity everywhere. And whoever just asked about a voicemail, I learned this from Jani. Like in Sales 101 is not to tell them why you're calling, but I'm like, hi, it's Lauren. I've got something really exciting I want to talk to you about. Call me back. Bye. It's going to bug people. They're going to call you back because they want to know what it is. You know, it's super short. Like the shorter, the better. Okay, I'm done talking. So Jess or Jani or Betsy or Kristin, someone else hop out.
So some of these are kind of blending together. If you see over on the chat, I've been trying to help some people out according to my little bit of advice based on what I would say. And so some of them kind of blend together about what you were just talking about, Lauren, like over on the chat, like Candy asked if you would leave that in the voicemail or would you just wait until you're connected with them?
No, not in the voicemail.
Does that make sense?
For sure. Yeah, that's just like,
yeah.
Hi, it's Lauren. I've got something really exciting I want to share with you. Call me as soon as you can, you know? Mm-hmm. Maybe you want to take this one, but they're asking basically how are we sharing? Kristin, thank you for typing this in here, but like how are we getting people to find their two people? How are we getting people to refer even if they have no interest in the business?
I think that person's actually asking Jani or you, just if you look up.
Okay, well then I'm just gonna keep talking.
I want to be fair to them because they're addressing the question to them. I think that's somebody who's probably on my team, so they probably have heard my answer.
I mean, the number one thing I do, the very, very first thing when I enroll someone is I ask who their accountability partners are. So just when I'm like, do you want chocolate or vanilla? You know, do you want packets or canisters? I'm like, and who are the two people you're doing this with? And they're like, well, what do you mean, right? And I set it up that you're going to have better results if you have accountability partners, right? That you get your product paid for, that we don't do things alone. Means by human nature, we like to go out to eat in groups. We like to go to movies in groups. And I said, it's just fun. And I tell them about my story with my mom and my sister or whatever that may be, you know? That's part of it. I scheduled the new associate interview the first week after I enrolled them. I talked to them. Do you want to refer people to me or are you interested in supplemental income? Like I tell them, I said, inevitably you're going to be a walking billboard. So when people ask what you're doing, what are you going to tell them? Like you don't have to want to do this business, but it's my job to prepare you on how to answer because inevitably people are going to come to you, you know? So if you don't know what to do with them, then these people are going to go to Amazon and I don't want them to go to Amazon. I want them to get the same support you are. You know, I'm just kind of trying to plan every step before it even happens. You know, when they start getting compliments, I ask them because, you know, the other thing is when people say they don't want to do the business, the reason they don't want to do the business is they're afraid of the industry. They don't think they have the time or they don't think they're going to be good at it, right? And if you can kind of debunk that along the way, so people don't have to say, well, I just don't have the time to do it. I'm like, well, how is that ever going to change them? What would it be like to have more time? And I relate to them. I said, then this is the reason you have to make the time, you know, and sometimes because they're worried that people are going to think and to kind of debunk the myths of the industry for them. But the other is a lot of times people think that they're going to have Tupperware parties and hound all their friends and they're going to go all through this work for a couple $100s, right? When someone tells me I don't want to do the business and I say, you know, I used to feel the exact same way, but this business changed my life. Can you honestly tell me that there's no one in your family budget that can benefit from an extra $10,000 in the next 6 months? Right? And I'll just get quiet. I won't say anything after that. I'll just let them sit on that question because we have a huge, huge upfront part of our compensation plan. I mean, it's more generous than any other, you know, any other network marketing company's compensation plan. And then all of a sudden people are like, wait, what's available? And I start walking them through where they can possibly earn $10,000 because they think of this as hobby money. They think they're gonna have to sell their friends and get $200. You tell someone they have 10 grand on the table, their eyes perk up. Like that's life-changing money for 99% of Americans, you know? Jani, what do you want to add? Because you got typed in that too.
Well, you know what I would say, can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
So what I would tell you is that, I mean, when I jumped into this, when I first started, Cindy said there's a business opportunity. I would never really use those words because to me, I thought, and most people, they've never run a business. They have no idea what a business even looks like. And so when she was talking to me about a business, I thought she's crazy. So, I mean, I talk to people about getting their products paid for. I talk to people about, you know, 82% of our field is simply product users, right, guys? So, I mean, I really am big on getting people an initial result because if they have an initial result, they're going to share. They're going to talk about it. I mean, that's what happened to me. Got an amazing product result, and I thought, oh my gosh, I feel amazing. I'm going to tell everybody that I know, because everybody needs to feel this great, right? So, I mean, to me, the natural energy, the passion, the conviction, because that's what sells people. People wanted my energy, they wanted my passion, they wanted my conviction. They're like, whatever she wants, I want to do it, because they thought she's got great energy. So, I mean, I'm really big on just getting people an amazing result. And a lot of times, very organically, it happens like that.
That's happening with Jess. That's how you found her. Because
Yes.
Jess was like a walking billboard. And Jess, how many people had you signed up in that first month or whatever?
5.
Five. Just because she was loving the product and telling people about it. And Jani found her because she was looking at her blueprint. You know, I mean, now she's an Ice millionaire. Like, it's exactly what happens with people.
Yeah.
And guys, don't forget, there are true people who are looking for it from a business perspective. So this morning I got a text from someone. The last time we talked to each other was August 17. The first time we literally met each other was in May. We had some conversation, and then she just sent me today. So the last time I talked to her was August 17. She said, "Hi, I'm back." She goes, "Are you sure I can't do this by just doing the business? I really don't need to consume the product. I just want to do the business. It looks solid to me." And then, so I said, "Well, that's not really the right way to do this." And so I explained a little bit further, and her final text was, "All right, let's do this." So tomorrow she might place the order yet tonight. But don't forget, you've got two groups of people. I agree with Jani. There are folks who have never really had this experience in their life about what that means. And I think I would probably run too and be scared and like, oh my God, that's too much. And that's all this going on up here and yada, yada, yada. And then you have the other group who's like all about it. Give me more, give me more. How can I expand, my residual income and so forth. But guiding them so that it's not a threat, that it's not something that they want to run away from. Couldn't agree more.
Awesome, Denise. That's so perfect. Okay, so there's one other question that I'll answer, and then we should close to respect the time of everybody. And we'll be back for 3 more weeks. And you've got to get Jani and Betsy on the panel too, and more speakers. But someone's asking me, how do I cast the vision? And, it really depends on some other people. But the first part is doing that discovery time with getting to know them, getting to know their pain, because I'm going to cast the vision totally different to someone like Jessica Rigner than I would myself, right? Because you have to find out people are suffering, physically, if they're suffering financially, if they're suffering emotionally, like if they're suffering spiritually, like we all have pain, right? And it's about asking enough of those questions and then being able, in a way that you're 10 feet tall and bulletproof, that this company delivers. I mean, I hear Eric Hoover in my ear every single day. Isogenics brings out the best in people. Isogenics brings out the best in people. And being able to be vulnerable and share different stories of what Isogenics is doing for people, but for some people, like I did a 3-way call this morning with a girl on my team, and this girl's working at Walmart, and she's exchanging time for money, and she's totally burnt out. She has an internship, she's in school. I mean, this is like my story. I literally said, God, I feel like I'm looking at myself 3 years back, talking to her, and she just said to me, I don't have the time. And I said exactly what I was saying to you. I was like, okay. And I said, so let me just ask you a question. If you do nothing differently right now, if you do nothing differently, how is your life going to be different in 5 years? Right? And again, I'll get really quiet and let them think about it. And they can't. And I said, so if there was a way that you could totally change the trajectory of your life in 5 years from now, have more freedom, be working at your house instead of stocking shelves, like doing something, is that something that's important to you? What are you willing to sacrifice to make that happen? What do you want to get out of that? In getting people to kind of make that decision. When people doubt this opportunity, I drop the statistics, you guys. I'm a numbers person. Like, I get it. I rattle off that, that the company, the industry has 600 some 7-figure income earners and over 200 are in Isogenics. I tell people we pay out 1,120% more in commissions. I mean, I know those statistics that PK Smith has. I tell people most companies have to do 300+ million in gross revenue to create a 7-figure income earner. We have to do 29. That our company's profit margin of what they're giving back to the field is huge because they came out of retirement for contribution and service. I mean, there's so much stuff that comes out of my mouth because I love this company and I know what they're about. And we tell them if it's not right for the customer, it's not right for the company, and they're always doing things to improve, and that this isn't going to be a one-hit wonder. This isn't going to be, a burn and crash company, that they're creating a legacy company. And when you can see that this is going to be here, this is going to be a business you can will away. This doesn't mean you're going to give to your kids, and they can start to see the longevity of it. People get excited. But a lot of it is just asking them, what do they need right now? And when you get to someone's why, like your why in 30 days or 60 days or 90 days or whatever is totally different. But sometimes we get so focused on this grandiose thing that less than 1% are going to do. I'm like, what do you want right now? And what options do you have to make that happen? And if we put in just a little bit of time consistently, what does this start to do for your family? When I first got started, you guys, I wanted $500 extra a month. That was it. I was tired of getting in debt and having to use a credit card, and $500 extra a month would have helped me pay off a credit card. It would have helped me start to put money in savings. Even $100 a month in a savings account was all that I wanted. Then I was like, oh my gosh, that's happening. What would $500 a week do for me? And that was an extra $2,000 a month. That's $24,000 in a year. That would have changed my tax bracket. When you take someone who's making $30,000, $35,000 a year, and that was huge, right? So sometimes we get so into this Isagenix millionaire financial freedom, right? And I'm just like, what do you want? And what are your options to get there? When I talk to Lyft and Uber drivers, I literally, you guys, people laugh at me for this, but I intentionally take Lyft and Uber all throughout the week because I've yet to meet anybody who's doing that job for fun. They're all doing it for extra money, and they don't really want to be doing it. It's not safe. Denver has a high car accident rate. They're putting all these miles and stuff on their car. I'm like, so the same money that you're making, you have to reinvest and now take care of your car. Like, it doesn't make sense, right? But when you can say that and just honestly say, if there was another way, and then the biggest thing is just showing them. People think this is a tell me business, and you just say, oh, go have a launch party. Oh, go call all of your friends. Jessica and I have been coaching with people for 3 years, and they'll still ask us, what do you say to people? We've told you 100 times, but we're not annoyed because we understand it's a skills-based business, and it's just practice. And the more conversations you have, the easier it gets. So it may be fluid to us because we do it 10, 20 times every single day, but for everybody else, we're gonna lock arms with you. We're gonna show you how to do this. So when you cast the vision, don't throw people to the wolves. No, don't promise them a lottery ticket and then take it away from them, honestly. And that's the number one thing. I think the difference of what so many of us say is there's just no follow through in what you do. Jani didn't kick us out of the nest, at least not until we were a 2-star, she showed us, she was there all the time, that was a joke. But, that's the thing with your people is you just really, really have to show them every step of the way and break it down. If you don't know how we get paid, don't cast a vision to somebody. Spend time learning the comp plan. I have so many people right now asking, how do I get to NYKO? And I said, do you know all the ways we can get paid? If I say you need to earn $250 in a week, do you know how to do that? Some people only know cycles, or they only know the rank advancement bonuses. Literally show the people, but figure out what it is that they need per month and how much time are they willing to do it. That's the number one thing is I just say, what would, how much money do you need to change your family's life? $200 a month. What would that do? That would give my husband and I a date night. Awesome. Of all the days in the week, all the hours, how much time can you put aside to try and do something to earn $50 a week? Candy, you're asking the 10K in 6 months. So it's the rank advancement bonuses, consultant, manager, director, executive, hitting the crystal. It's hitting 1-star, 2-star, 3-star, and the 5-cycle bonus 2 times. So that's where that 10,000 is. And it's 6 months because that's how long you have to hit executive. So you guys are awesome. We love you. Thank you, Kristin. Thank you, Denise. Thank you, Jess and Jani, and all of you. We will see you next Tuesday. I'll get this up on the YouTube recording tonight or tomorrow morning for sure. So you guys are awesome, and thanks for your time.
Thanks, girls. You were awesome.
Thanks. Take care, everybody. You're in charge of your life. Live it.
Love it.
Thanks, ladies.
Thank you.